if you're trying to lose weight, here is why calorie counting is stupid. And it might actually be sabotaging your weight loss attempts. I'm a dietitian and a nutritionist, and I lost 20 kilograms, which is 45 pounds, and I kept it off. And I'm going to teach you why calorie counting may actually be the very problem and not the solution. But this video is going to piss off a lot of people, particularly personal trainers who think that eating boiled chicken and sad broccoli is the only way to be healthy, who are going to sell you a weight loss nutrition program that requires you to obsessively track everything you eat in MyFitnessPal. You know, the people who think that having abs can replace having a personality? It can't. I'm about to share with you the facts, so stick around. Here's my experience with calorie counting. I've tried every diet under the sun, but the one that I kept coming back to is calorie counting. In fact, to this day, I can't forget how many calories are in every food that I eat because it's scorched into my brain. It started when I stole my mum's calorie counter book at the age of 11, and I started to memorize everything that I was eating, and I'd keep a diary and I'd calculate whether I was good or bad that day based on how many calories I ate. But the problem is that while I lost a little bit of weight in the beginning, this method did not help me lose weight and keep it off. I kept regaining the weight and I'd keep coming back to calorie counting, but the same thing would happen. I'd fall off track, I'd fall off the bandwagon, and I'd have to start from scratch every single Monday. And if that sounds familiar, then think about it. Calorie counting might be the problem. There's nothing wrong with your willpower. You need a different approach. Here are 6 reasons why calorie counting is stupid. Number 1, calorie counting is hugely inaccurate. In fact, it's inaccurate up to 25%, which is just wild. Your metabolism changes all the time, and metabolism between people is totally different. So if it's a cold day, you're going to burn more calories. If you exercised in the morning or in the evening, it's going to change how many calories you burn each day. Plus, the amount of calories in the food that you eat isn't accurately taken into consideration. So listening to your hunger and fullness cues can actually help you eat within 50 calories of how much you are burning that day. So if you are exercising more, if you are burning fewer calories, your body will just adjust your appetite so that you are less hungry or more hungry. And in this way, you don't actually need to count calories because it's inaccurate anyway. You don't need to count calories because your body is guiding you to eat the right number of calories for what it needs. Number 2, when you count calories, you often end up eating way more processed food than fresh food. That's because on the back of a label on a food product, it will tell you how many calories they think is in it. And as a result, this becomes a safe food. You can easily pop it into something like MyFitnessPal. As a result, anything that doesn't have a food label feels a little bit more scary. It feels a little bit harder to put into something like MyFitnessPal. We stick to highly processed foods. Protein bars, protein cookies, protein ice cream, all the types of protein that is probably being sold to you by someone who's profiting off your insecurity. And because of this, you're much more likely to end up missing out on key nutrients. So for myself, when I was obsessed with calorie counting, I would avoid things like extra virgin olive oil in my cooking, which we know is correlated with longevity and feeling really good. We know we need it to help our body feel satisfied after eating. We need healthy fats, but I was avoiding it because if you look at the calories of 1 tablespoon of oil, you think, it's not worth it. It seems like an easy thing to cut out so that you can save calories. But what I was missing out on were the key nutrients my body needed to thrive. In fact, don't forget those healthy fats can actually help your body absorb key nutrients, vitamins A, D, E, and K. So you need them. Adding a bit of extra virgin olive oil on top of your salad is going to actually boost how many nutrients your body gets. Calorie counting is going to mean that you avoid doing that. So let's avoid calorie counting instead. Number 3, calorie counting is pretty darn unsustainable because it requires you to track and measure every single food that you eat. Now, question for you, do you really want to spend the rest of your life weighing out every single food that you eat? And do you really want to weigh out blueberries or almonds before you're able to eat them? That does not sound very fun. Number 4, calorie counting turns you into an obsessed human. Next thing you know, you are asking yourself a gajillion questions around food, like, am I allowed to eat carbs? How many carbs am I allowed? Is butter a carb? Is butter a carb? And before you know it, you're questioning everything about food and nutrition and even yourself. It's not worth it. The thing that I really hate is how calorie counting makes you demonize perfectly healthy foods. So like with the extra virgin olive oil, you become scared to eat that. Things like avocado, nuts, they become really fearful. Even things like dairy foods like cheese or yogurt, you start to cut these foods out of your diet because you feel like it's just not worth it. And just like that, the list of foods that you feel like you are allowed or okay to eat dwindle and get tiny until you feel like you're scared to eat anything that isn't low in calories. Here's something a lot of people don't realize, that the fiber you eat is totally going to impact how many calories your body absorbs from that food. So let's do an example. Let's say we've got a brownie and we've got a muesli bar. Now, the muesli bar has a whole lot more fiber than the brownie. As a result, your body may absorb up to 25% fewer calories from the muesli bar because it has that fiber compared to the brownie. So if you are simply looking at the calorie amounts of these two foods, you're going to think they're the same, but your body knows these foods are not the same. And this is just another way that calorie counting is completely inaccurate. Number 5, your calorie needs are constantly shifting, and not just based on different life stages, that's pretty obvious, but on a day-to-day basis, the amount of calories you need is constantly evolving. So depending on whether or not you slept really badly the night before or how much stress you're undergoing, whether or not the air conditioning is switched on is going to impact how many calories you burn. And so I think this idea that you can just hop on the internet, you can ask Google to tell you how many calories you're going to burn that day with a very basic algorithm is just so basic and so inaccurate and so unhelpful. This is why I keep coming back to this idea of tuning into your appetite is going to be so much more accurate. And number 6, if you're constantly trying to stick to a certain number of calories that you're supposed to eat that day, you can also be messing with your hunger and fullness cues. And that is hugely problematic. So naturally, there are going to be days where you are hungrier and you are burning more calories. What happens when you try and stick to your calorie amount is you end up eating the exact same food every single day, even on those days when you're burning more calories. And this becomes hugely problematic because you are genuinely hungrier on these days, you need more energy, and this is when you're more likely to end up raiding the kitchen and binge eating, losing control over food because you weren't giving yourself permission to eat the right amount of energy that your body needed. And ladies, can I just say, 1,200 calories is not how many calories you need to eat in a day. That's how many calories a toddler needs. You are a grown-ass woman and you need to eat enough calories to fuel your lovely body. If not, you're going to end up face planting into the pantry. Don't do it. I've done it. It's not good. It's a trap.
It's a trap!
Before your period, you are going to burn more calories. This is why you're going to find that you're craving carbohydrates. You are craving more food. Your body needs more fuel. Give it the fuel that it needs, and you're going to find that you avoid those binges. And as a result, you're going to be so much more consistent with healthy eating. This is important. Weight loss isn't just about eating less and moving more. That's incredibly simplistic and truly unhelpful advice that I was given my entire life, and it really just led me astray. What happens is when we start to eat less and move more, our body's pretty darn smart. Its job is to keep us alive. So it's got a whole bunch of mechanisms to help us not lose weight if it starts to fear that we're not eating enough. It slows our metabolism. Dieting slows your metabolism, and at the same time, it also increases your hunger hormone, ghrelin, so you're actually more hungry than you were before. And that's all because your body fears that it's not getting fed enough food. Now, when it comes to calories, satisfaction really matters. Now, if you are simply looking at how many calories a food has, you're often neglecting how satisfying a food is. But what we know is if you're eating a sad, boring salad for lunch, then chances are you're probably going to crave something in the afternoon because that lunch just did not hit the spot. So by adding in something like feta, some extra virgin olive oil, and a delicious salad dressing, some avocado, those things are going to add the satisfaction. And yes, they're going to add in more calories. But I want you to think about it like this. Sometimes you need to eat more so that you can eat less. Adding in more calories and making your food more satisfying means you avoid that late afternoon snacking and out of control eating that you often end up falling a victim to. So let's avoid that by adding in more of that satisfaction. Now, don't go anywhere because I'm about to share with you 4 questions you can ask yourself when it comes to calorie counting that can make all the difference to your mindset. But if I can just ask you to do this one favor, please like and subscribe this video. It's a small thing that you can do that makes a huge contribution to helping me get really high quality content to you totally for free. And if there is a topic that you want to learn more about and you've got a burning question, then leave me a comment below. I'm a dietitian nutritionist and I really want to help you because I've been where you are right now. And I know it sucks and I don't want it to suck anymore. So write a comment. I'd love to help you. Now, to the 4 questions that you can ask yourself if you're struggling with calorie counting. Number 1, if calorie counting worked, wouldn't you be at your goal weight by now? Chances are you keep getting stuck in that cycle of losing weight, regaining the weight, losing the weight, regaining the weight, and end up gaining more weight than what you previously started at. And one of the key things I did is I started to focus on my hunger. You naturally have an inbuilt weight management system. It's called your appetite, and its sole purpose is to help you regulate how much energy your body needs. So you keep hearing me talk about coming back to your hunger and fullness cues. That's because this calorie counting nonsense is totally unessential. It's clearly not working because if it did, you'd be at your goal weight and we wouldn't be having this conversation. Listening to your hunger and fullness cues can help you eat within 50 calories of how much energy your body needs. It's far more effective than counting calories, and it's going to help you find your body's happy weight much more effectively. Number 2, can I do this for the rest of my life? I don't know about you, but I do not want to spend the rest of my life counting calories, weighing out my food. I've done that before where I've taken a sad scale and carried it around in my handbag so I could actually eat the right amount of calories for my body. That is completely unnecessary. And if you don't want to do that for the rest of your life, then even if you do lose weight through counting calories, you're not going to be able to maintain that weight unless you keep up with this really frustrating and unnecessary habit. Question number 3, do you really want to be an 80-year-old or a 90-year-old who's weighing out her tea and biscuits? I certainly do not. I do not want the final thought on my deathbed to be, well, at least I'm skinny now, as I know sadly is the case for a lot of people. Number 4, do you feel controlled by food? Now, if you're counting calories, there's a good chance the answer to that is yes. Now, when it comes to creating a healthy relationship with food, I like to think about it, it's a bit like when you've got a healthy relationship with your partner or a friend. There are 3 main things I consider. 1, it's got to be respect, it's got to be trust, and it's got to be communication. If you are subscribing to calorie counting all the time, then you're basically not communicating with your body. You're not listening to it as it tells you it needs more food. You're not responding to it by adjusting what you eat depending on your needs and your satisfaction levels. You are simply telling your body what you need. You're not respecting it and the things that it's asking for, and you're not trusting it to guide you to eat healthily either. And I think this makes for a pretty unhealthy relationship. So when I talk about creating a healthy relationship with food, what I would like for you to do instead of calorie counting is start listening to your body. It's communicating with you. Respect it enough to go, okay, I hear what you're asking me to eat, and trust that it's going to guide you to eat the right amount of energy for what it needs. If you want to create a healthier relationship with food, it can feel a little bit like overwhelming to go, where do I even start? That's something I can help you with. I have my free 5-day course. It can help you stop binge and emotional eating. And I'll leave a link down below in the notes. So if you want to start that free course, you can give it a go. Thousands of people have done that course already, and it's helped them feel more relaxed and in control around food. Honestly, it's because I was so controlled by food for so many years, so obsessed with calories, that I feel really passionate about helping people just like you who are currently feeling like your life revolves around food. I'm telling you, there is a way to be healthy without letting food take over your life. The funny thing is, when I stopped tracking, when I stopped counting calories, when I stopped weighing myself obsessively, that's when I finally lost weight. So when I lost the 20 kilograms, and it didn't happen while I was being obsessed with food. If you are currently struggling, I've actually got a free resource that can help you. It's called Find Your Happy Weight. I'll link it down below so you can download it if you want. And it's just outlining step-by-step things you can do to help you feel more control around food, to let go of the BS and the diet culture noise so you can feel more relaxed in your body. If you would like more videos like this, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment down below and I would love to be able to answer it. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, please come along. My name's nude_nutritionist. I'm sharing free recipes and tips and things to help you be healthy without the calorie counting BS. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll catch you in the next one.